Well, it's another beautiful day in Mobile County, Alabama, and I have a recipe I would like to share with you today. And so right over here in the pot, I have some ground beef that I'm going to brown, and I'm going to show you how to make a homemade spaghetti sauce. So the very first thing we want to do, let's turn our burner on a little above high, about medium high. We've got our burner on and we need to brown this meat. This is 1 pound of ground chuck. And ground chuck is a very nice grade of meat to use in this recipe because it's not, it's a lean meat. It's not fatty, but it has enough fat in it to give flavor to the recipe. So we've got ground chuck, and I have some chopped onions and green bell pepper, probably about, I've got about a cup of onion and about a half a cup of bell pepper. We're going to put that in there. Okay, just stir this up just a little bit, and I'm going to put the lid on the pot, and we're going to let this meat brown for a few minutes, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so the ground beef has been browning. I'm going to take the lid off and take a look. Let's see if it's done. Okay, that looks good. The ground beef is brown and it's done. And the onions and the bell peppers, they are sauteed, so that's great. Now we want to add some more ingredients here. Let's start out with our tomato sauce. I've got 2 cans of tomato sauce I want to put in here. Okay. And I have a can of diced tomatoes. Put that in there. Okay. That's looking good. Let's stir this up. Now we need to add our spices next. The first thing we want to start with is Italian seasoning. Now when I add my spices for my spaghetti sauce, this is one of the recipes that I've told you is just pour and stir. And so I don't ever measure my spices. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to try to measure them so that we can have some measurements for the recipe. So I've got a 1 tablespoon measuring spoon here. This is Italian seasoning. Okay, I've got 1 tablespoon. Let me sprinkle that in here and see what that looks like. Okay. Okay, I need a little more, so maybe 1 more tablespoon of Italian seasoning. Let's see. Okay, that's about half of the tablespoon. Let me kind of stir this around. Okay, so that looks, let's see, maybe we'll put the rest of it in there, put a little more. Okay, let's just put it all in there. So that's 2 tablespoons of Italian seasoning. Next, we need some chili powder. So I've got a 1/2 teaspoon measuring spoon. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. It's looking nice. Okay, so I've put 2 teaspoons of chili powder in there. All right, now this is minced garlic. We'll measure out some minced garlic. This is my 1/2 teaspoon. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'll put just a tad more in there. 5, 6. So I have put in 3 teaspoons of minced garlic. Okay. Now the next spice we want to add is we want to add a couple of bay leaves. So we reach down in here and get some bay leaves out. There's 1. There's 2. Okay, we've got the bay leaves. Let's stir them in there. Now, see how that's looking? That's making a really very hearty looking tomato sauce, a spaghetti sauce. Okay, now I have one more ingredient that I want to add, and that is a can of mushrooms. So we're going to pour the mushrooms in.
Are those whole mushrooms or half mushrooms?
No, these are pieces. These are mushroom pieces. Okay, we've got this stirred in. Okay, now this is all of the ingredients that need to go in this sauce to make the spaghetti sauce. And once you make a homemade spaghetti sauce, you're just going to, you're not going to want to buy the jar stuff at the store anymore. And see how quickly this is all coming together. It doesn't take a long time to do it. Okay, so I'm going to put the lid back on the pot. I'm going to turn my heat down to about medium. And I'm going to let this simmer a little bit and let the sauce thicken up. And once the sauce thickens up, we're ready to eat. Okay, our spaghetti sauce has been cooking now for a few minutes, probably in between 5 and 10 minutes. And with the lid on, and every few minutes I take the lid off and I stir it. You don't want it to stick on bottom, so you need to keep it stirred. And also with cooking, when I was cooking the ground beef, you want to stir that every few minutes too while it's browning. Now the recipe for this spaghetti sauce will be in the description below this video. Okay, so let's take the lid off and let's see what we got here. All right, this is our spaghetti sauce. It's nice and thick, just right. And I have a plate of noodles over here, spaghetti noodles. And you can just dip some of this sauce out of the pot. Put it right on top of your noodles. And there is your spaghetti. You can serve your choice of bread with this meal. Garlic bread, cheese bread, rolls, and you can have a side salad with it as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.